you know, here we are dealing with another shooting of an unarmed black man. You know what I mean? And in the same place, no less, where, you know, while we have the, you know, it's crazy, man. We have the George Floyd trial going on right now. It's not the George Floyd trial. It's the Derek Chauvin trial. You know, the guy who murdered George Floyd, you know, in my opinion, I think he murdered the man, and I think he should be convicted, found guilty, and serve the maximum time possible. You know, hopefully life. But I mean, that's just kind of where I feel on it. But it's crazy, man. We have this trial going on, right? The George Floyd murder trial, and you know, while this is going on, literally in the middle of all this going on, we have the this new shooting that happened with Daunte Wright. Daunte Wright. I hope I'm getting that right. But yeah, that was his name, and this guy was a 20-year-old kid, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm 30, man, and I like, dude, at 20 years old, it's just like, dude, you're just such a young person getting started in life, man, and you know, just so viciously snubbed out like that, you know what I mean? To have your entire life and future taken away from you, have a son ripped away from his family like that. I mean, it's just, dude, when is this shit gonna stop, man? You know what I mean? Like, when is this gonna stop? Like, this officer woman that shot him with her, you know, you guys have heard the story. She's claiming that she didn't mean to shoot him. She thought she was gonna tase him. She thought she had a taser in her hand. And it's just like, you know, we're talking about an over 20 years, you know, veteran, with the police department. This girl was a field, trainer, for, you know, new incoming officers. You know what I mean? And this girl, you know, I believe her name was, Kim Porter. You know, and, you know, this woman right here, you know, with all that experience, man, the 20 years on the force, training officers, they say she had time working with the police union. So, you know, she should have, you know, somewhat of a, you know, she's got to have some level of knowledge of the job, you know what I mean? And what all the job entails. So for someone like this to, you know, look at these two items and say, I was confused as to which one is which. You know, it comes back to like, look, either she's purposely lying, which is, I think, what most of us think. I think everyone knows that she knew she didn't have a taser in her hand. Or it's like, I mean, are you that stupid? I mean, let's just call it for what it is. Are you that fucking stupid that you cannot tell that you're holding your, you know, state issued Glock over a plastic filling taser? And, you know, now this 20-year-old kid, a 20-year-old fucking kid, man, you know what I mean, is gone, you know, completely gone, you know, dead forever, you know, and, you know, it's just like, it's the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, you know, Ahmaud Arbery, all these people, it's all of it all over again, man. It's like, you know, when this can happen in the same exact place, you know, but, you know, in the same exact place where we're currently holding a, you know, nationwide public trial, a high profile trial over the same exact thing initially, you know, with George Floyd and what happened to him. It's just like, man, like, it kind of makes you feel like there's no fucking hope, man. Like, this shit's never gonna get better. You know what I mean? And because of that, people are never gonna trust the police, man. Like, I don't want to trust the police anymore. You know what I mean? Seeing all these stories, it's like, you know what I mean? I'd be pissing my pants to get pulled over these days, man. To have to deal with law enforcement to any degree at this point, man. It's like, I'm frightened, man. Like, I'm totally terrified. You know what I mean? A cop's gonna pull you over, and you know that cop's having a bad day. I mean, did you guys see what happened? You know, and another related story to this, I mean, there was that military guy in Virginia. You know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead and play you guys the video. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. It's been all over social media. But this is a man from, I believe, Virginia, a lieutenant in the United States military. You remember, you know, support our troops. The narrative that comes over from this side that always tells us at the same time to support the police and the thin blue line bullshit. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at this video, because I think it's important for all of you guys to, you know, see kind of the interaction of what happened to a member of the U.S. military. And go ahead and take a look.
Developing this morning in the state of Virginia, the governor there is calling for an independent investigation after the release of a disturbing police body cam video. It shows officers drawing their guns on an Army lieutenant in uniform and pepper spraying him during a traffic stop that took place last December. That Army lieutenant says the two officers violated his constitutional rights, and now one of those officers has been fired.
Put your hands out the window!
A Windsor police officer says in his report he spotted a vehicle with dark tinted windows and no license plate displayed that was eluding police. Though a lawsuit says a paper license plate was visible in the rear window of the new car. Nazario admits in his complaint that he didn't immediately pull over, driving nearly 2 minutes with his hazard lights on so he could stop at a well-lit gas station.
What's going on?
Nazario, who is black and Latino and was wearing his military uniform, asks repeatedly why he's being detained.
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
What's going on? You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
And then this exchange.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you should be. Get out. Back up.
Whoa,
Officer Joe Gutierrez then pepper sprays Nazario in the face.
Hold on. That's up.
Wow, man. Wow. I mean, it's crazy, man. This guy's a member of the United States military, and look how he's being treated. You know what I mean? And obviously kind of you can hear the way the officers are treating him and those threats they're making to him. Like he's saying, I'm scared to get out. Oh, you should be. Yeah. You know, and then and then there's people out there that question why, you know, especially people in minority communities, you know, brown and black people, totally terrified of dealing with law enforcement. You know, you look at that video. This guy is a lieutenant in the military being treated like that by police officers who are supposed to be here to protect and serve and keep us all safe, right? So if a guy like that is not safe around the police, what chance do the rest of us have? You know what I mean? Like I said, man, it makes me terrified to deal with the fucking law enforcement, man, because, you know, like I said, you get pulled over one day, you don't know if you're dealing with that. You know, you don't know if that guy's going to pull you over. Whatever the hell he's dealing with, he's going to take it out on you. You know what I mean? And then that could have been so much worse. Thank God that guy had the presence of mind to, you know, make sure he got into a well-lit area. The reporting says that he was pulled over and he kind of drove on for a couple of miles to get to that spot where he was at. I believe that was a gas station. Excuse me. And, you know, just to make sure he had, you know, proper lighting so he can record the interaction, because man, if he didn't do that and he didn't have that video, I mean, you already guys know what it would be. You know, it'd be the police filing their report saying, oh, this guy resisted, or, you know, painting whatever narrative they want. They, you know, they're going to support each other. They're going to back their own, you know, they're going to back their own, you know, regardless of whether they were right or wrong in the situation. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, it's crazy, that, you know, these people are the ones who we're supposed to trust to protect us. You know what I mean? And look, obviously I'm not saying all cops are that guy. You know what I mean? All cops are not like that. Like I've dealt with, you know, law enforcement. I've dealt with cops that have been total pros, 100%. And, you know, I couldn't be happier with, you know, them being the people that are, you know, put in place to, you know, protect communities. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, total pros, a lot of men and women on the force, total pros. But this guy right here, and, you know, and the thing is, you know, he's probably going to get away with it. He probably, you know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, this guy in particular, I believe, he either resigned or got fired. Usually they resign, you know, they never get fired. But this guy, he's no longer on the force, but I mean, how many more of them are just like him? You know what I mean? How much did he influence other officers? You know what I mean? And then we're talking about the same place where the George Floyd thing happened, man. So how many people on the force just have this, you know, way of thinking? You know what I mean? Whether or not it was like I mean, I personally think it's a race problem to a degree, but I mean, it's also just a, you know, lack of professionalism of police officers who think that, you know, once they put on that badge, they own the streets, you know what I mean? And they can just kind of treat you in any which way, and then there's no repercussions for them, and there's nothing you can do. You're just an idiot civilian, and they're the cop. So I'm right in the situation no matter, regardless of what I do. So, I mean, dude, it's just, like I said, when it's just makes you question when shit like this is going to stop, man. You know, I hope it does stop. And I don't, this is like, it's crazy because I don't see a real clear solution here, man. I don't see a way in which we get out of this with a real win. and that's the kind of sad thing about it, man. It's just really sad that this stuff is going on. So, that's, I mean, two memorials that we have to give here on the show. Rest in peace, Daunte Wright. Totally tragic, what happened to him, and shouldn't have happened to him. You know what I mean? Like, this whole mentality that cops have, that at the first sign of trouble, we're gonna pop off bullets. You know what I mean? Listen, it's a fair point to say that, yes, cops do have a right to expect to go home at the end of the day. You know what I mean? They're working a job. They want to go home to their families as well. I totally get that. Totally give you that respect. You should be able to do your job, handle it like a pro, and go home like anybody else, to your families. But what about Daunte Wright? Didn't he, have a right to get to his family? I mean, talking about a 20-year-old kid, man, and got several cops around him, and he's that threatening that we gotta shoot him down dead in the streets like that. You know what I mean? He's that much of a threat to you. That these supposedly trained officers of the law, with all their training, all their weapons, and all the alternatives that could have and should have went down at that particular moment. It's like, that's where we got to go. I mean, it's just like I said, at the first sign of trouble, you got to, empty your clip into somebody. It's just, man, it's really sad, man. It's really unfortunate. And, the saddest part is, like I said, I don't know what the solution could or it would or could be. It's just a really sad situation, man. It's just, I'm kind of at a loss for words, as you guys can tell. Like, I don't really know how to react to this. You know what I mean? I mean, I know that I'm angry about it, but I don't know what we can do to move forward. I mean, my gut feeling, man, is just that it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening until, I mean, there's enough people that just say, this has got to stop and this has got to change. But I mean, do I have faith in half of this country is going to suddenly wake up and realize, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, this is wrong and this shouldn't be happening. Let's be honest, man, probably not. You know what I mean? There's always going to be that section of people that are going to always back the cops no matter what. I mean, it's happening with this case where they're saying, oh, well, this kid, it's the usual shtick, man. He should have complied. He should have listened. He should be respecting law enforcement, man. Well, you know what, man? Again, very easy to say that, but when you have a loaded gun pointed at you and you know that you're seconds away from death, I mean, you don't know how you're going to act or react until you're in that situation, man. So, I mean, I think it's unfair to kind of just, point the finger at other people and say, oh, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. Unless you're put in that situation, man, you don't know how you're going to react. You don't. You can tell yourself all day long, well, this is what I would do or this is what I would have done, man. But, coulda, woulda, shoulda, man. Unless you are in that position, unless you were Daunte Wright in that position, in that moment, you don't know how you're going to react. So I want to see a kind of a shift in police culture where it's like, our it should be the last line of defense to reach for your weapon. You know what I mean? And to fire off a shot. I mean, I wish cops took more pride in not firing shots. You know what I mean? Like, if I was a cop and I can get through an entire career without firing a single bullet, I would call that a successful career. You know what I mean? Not saying that people who have to use their weapons in certain situations aren't heroes and made any mistakes or made mistakes all of the time. Obviously, it's not the case. You take it on a case by case basis. Every circumstance is different. You know what I mean? Every day for a cop is a different day, and you don't know what you're going to expect. It is, granted, it is a, high stress job. I get that. But listen, man, nobody forced you to do it. You know what I mean? Like, how many people have said that? You've heard that how many countless times, man. You volunteered to do this. You know what I mean? You volunteered to put yourself in a dangerous line of duty to protect other people. You don't sign up to be a cop to protect yourself. You know what I mean? You don't look at a cop car and it says to protect and serve our blue line brothers and sisters. It's to protect and serve the community. To protect and serve the people. So listen, man, if you're going to lose the people's trust and people aren't going to feel safe, and trusting in you.